All right, again, I want to give God the glory, and we have so many blessings and things to be thankful for, and just want to say thank you for the opportunity that we have again to play a football game here this weekend here, and also to play it here at home. Again, I always go say that we have the best fans in the country as far as coming out and supporting us, and very enthusiastic about it. So I know it's a special weekend too with homecoming. I know a lot of people keep coming back, former players and alums that haven't been around in a while and all that. So we welcome them as guests again back here at our facilities. Last week, I think the positive thing that we occurred, we worked on our fundamentals, just the basic things of angling with tackling and the proper technique of doing those things in the proper way. Our steps we need to take, whether it's running back, whether it's receivers, offensive linemen, we kind of went to the small detail of things and really just kind of worked on those things. And then the other thing was just rest their bodies, giving them an opportunity to rest their bodies up for 3 or 4 days. So again, great to be playing at home. Kennesaw State, again, they've starting off to another great season. They've done a very good job. Brian Bohannon has done a fantastic job there as far as, again, they just started football there 3 years ago, and so they've done a great job of doing some things to what they do. Triple option is always a challenge because it's so much of a discipline. Every game is discipline, no doubt about it, but when you may be one step off against defending their offense, it could cost you some 6 points. And so it's no different this year than we have in the last couple of years we played them. So I guess I'm still going to say we're getting into conference play. We have some familiarity with the teams that we're going to be playing here as we move forward. And they're fourth in the total offense. Again, 300 yards. You gotta make sure that we reduce their productivity. Their defense, I think they're faster than what they have been in the last year or two. I think they've done a good job there with their schemes. They do cause some confusion on some teams that I've seen them and watched them play. Their number 42 there, the guy that plays outside linebacker for them, is really a pretty good pass rusher whenever they bring him off the edge, and he's been very, very productive. I think he has 6 or 7 sacks. They have some other different things that they do that cause some problems there. So they're 6th in the country in rushing defense. Then also special teams. I think they're solid in that area. Kickoff return, they've had some success in bringing back some good returns. They have a punt return that's done a pretty good job there too. And so they're solid in the special teams area. So we got to play our best football game as we move forward. But I know we're excited about playing a game here this week. The injury report, Ralph Rusens had surgery yesterday. He's out for the season with his knee surgery. Then Ethan Crawford, he is questionable. We'll see how he goes here as he will be able to practice this week. We just see how he performs here as we move forward here the rest of the week. The keys to the game, number one is the turnover margin. There's no question about that. They're a +8. We're a -2 in the turnover margin. That's going to be always a factor in the game, but it's very, very crucial in this game just because of what type of offense they have. They're going to run the clock down pretty much. They average, I think, somewhere around 32 minutes a game that they have possession. So you're going to have less possessions in this ball game than what you would have in some of the other games that we played before. So we got to clean that up on the offensive side as far as taking care of the ball. Defensively, we got to create turnovers. We got to take the ball away, literally take it away. So this week is going to be a crucial week in that area. Then explosive plays. We got to prevent explosive plays, and we got to have explosive plays there from our offensive point of view. So it's pretty simple. We win the turnover margin, and we got to win the explosive plays. I think that gives us a greater chance to be successful. Open it up to questions.
Coach, you talked about the explosive plays in the past. Even though they're an option team, they have the ability with some guys to be able to go down the field a little bit with a Sumter or different wide receivers that they have. Are they still kind of showing that this year?
Yeah, they still have the play-action pass. They may not have been quite as productive as far as completion-wise compared to last year at the same time of the year, but they still run them. They still do it. I think some people, when you have a little bit more familiarity, you may have a better chance to defend it. But again, it just takes 1 second and one off on your eye discipline where they can have a big play. So Sumter's definitely been productive in what they've been able to do, and we got to make sure that we keep that in check.
You brought up the turnover margin. What specific aspects on offense are you trying to emphasize with the turnover margin in terms of decision making, protecting the ball, making sure when helmets are put on the ball on tackles that they're not popping out, those sorts of things as you guys are trying to make sure you take care of the ball on your end?
Well, I think overall, I think every position when you start talking about from the interception side of it, everybody is impactful in that. The offensive line, the receivers, the running backs, protection, and the routes. I know some of them may look like it's a situation there as far as Steve Calvert, Buckshot there, but it's everybody. So we just fine-tune some things. We're trying to do the things that our guys can do and being able to be productive on a regular basis. It's always being consistent. And then as far as fumbling, as far as that goes, that's just our guys got to take care of the ball, always having 6 points on the ball, and whether somebody hits you with their helmet or they don't, we got to make sure that the ball is not on the ground. Do not give a chance where there is a fumble and you have an opportunity for the referees to do things of that nature. So we just talked about that. We worked on that, and we're going to continue to work on that as protecting the football.
Did the bye week come at a good time for you guys, and did you get accomplished what you needed to accomplish in the bye week?
We got accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Again, we just wanted to work on fundamentals. We didn't necessarily get into a lot of physical aspect of it as far as really banging good against good as far as offense versus defense. It was more just trying to fine-tune the details, a little bit more specifics. Offense, defense, we worked a little bit on the punt team there, a little bit more thorough than some of the other phases. But it was just more of that, and then just, again, rest of their bodies, rest their minds, too. Been going at it pretty hard. So now I get a little bit refreshed, come back here enthusiastic, and ready to play the best football they can play here as we move forward into the season.
You just mentioned the punt return unit. You said last week that the first point of emphasis you wanted to address and evaluate was punt returner. Mm-hmm. What did you guys do in evaluation, and are you still going with either Stubbs or King back there?
That's still evaluation. I think we're got Stubbs, we got King, we got Farrow. Those 2 or 3 guys are involved in it. There may be some situational things that we may adjust. A certain person may be in the game when the opportunity presents itself.
Are you impressed with how well that they have taken care of the ball, considering they are an option team? I mean, a lot of those teams are, putting the ball all over the field. I mean, they're, what'd you say, +8?
Well, yeah. I mean, they've done a good job. We got to have people in the right place at the right time as far as certain people, what you got to do on your responsibility. You got to get penetration. I think that causes a little bit more issues with them if you're able to get more penetration at the mesh point with the fullback and your D tackle, your DN, different things that you may able to do. Seems to me that quite a few people have not been able to get a lot of penetration to cause some maybe bad pitches or cause the mesh point where there's maybe a fumble here or there. So they've done a good job executing. Again, the quarterbacks and their running backs are back. They all pretty much have been back for the most part. They only really lost one guy from last year, but they've been executing pretty well.
Their defense has got a lot of sacks, 15 sacks. Does that force you guys to make any changes up front as far as your protection? Do they do anything different that you haven't seen this year?
I mean, not doing anything that we haven't seen in fucking college football. As we see all the blitzes that you need to see and all that. It's just more about execution. And I think the other part of it is teams have gotten behind, so they're throwing a little bit more. I think that's also causes a little bit more sacks that occur. But they got good people. I'm not going to disregard they cannot put pressure on you. But I think they've gotten ahead of some people there, and that's to give them an opportunity to have a few more sacks. But no, again, they do some good things. They do cause a little bit of confusion if you're not on par. But again, we've seen their schemes. We've same defensive coordinator we've had in the last 2 years, so we're somewhat familiarity of what they do. But as we all know, each and every game, sometimes they change up a different scheme, and we just got to learn how to make those adjustments. And I think our staff will do a great job of that.
Personnel-wise, did you make any other changes in the bye week?
No, personnel-wise. No, I think the only thing we just see how Ethan Crawford goes from that point of view. I think everything else is going to be pretty much the same. Again, we just talked about some scheme things that we want to do, both offense and defensively, and we'll see if we continue to evaluate the rest of the week if our guys can handle it, because that's the number one thing. We can draw up all kind of things. but can our individual players, along with the offense, defense, together as a group, are they able to perform that on a consistent basis? And so I think we're still in that process, that journey here. We still got 3 more practices or so, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for sure, to get a true evaluation and decide our final game plan on Friday.
Kind of an interesting dynamic here as you enter conference play with not really being eligible for the Big South Conference Championship. Is that something that's being addressed with the team, or is that something you obviously want to win each game, but try to finish top of the standings if you were to count?
I mean, we talk about that. We talk about just getting better each and every day. And, we know the understanding of Forest not being able to win a conference championship, but it's about us getting better and playing to the best of our ability. That's kind of the conversation. That's the dialogue that we've all talked about. We all talked about we are very competitors, very much so as far as coaches and players. We want to go out and play our best. We love to play the game. We love to coach the game. We love to teach the game. And so, therefore, you want to go out and play your best. You got an opportunity to put something out there on your resume. And meaning your resume is each and every game, each and every week, we're deciding who's going to play more, who's going to play less. Also for the future, playing more, who's going to play less. So, again, our guys are very competitive. We're going to go out here and do the best we can to have an opportunity to win our football game.
Kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but did you watch any college football this past Saturday? And what were you?
Well,
what were you looking for?
A little bit of it, but obviously a little bit out there recruiting, and our guys were all over the place and all over the country. So saw a few games here and there, a few little highlight clips and all that. I think it shows, like we all know, each and every week is an interesting week. You got to go out and play your best football game. Anybody can be beaten on any given day, no matter whether you're home or away. And so very, very good competitive football.